All for One's Guide to a Peaceful Retirement, written by ScottishSunshine and read for you by Eleanor Elizabeth. Chapter 13. It's always useful to network. Summary. It's Tanya's birthday and Izuku has important news for his papa. Izuku is age 4. Papa! The minute Izuku is through Kurogiri's warp gate, he bolts past Makia and up the stairs. He has super exciting news, and he wants Papa to be the first to know. This is awesome, and he knows Papa will understand just how important this news is. And he knows he shouldn't run in the house, but this is a big event. It's like Izuku's birthday, only it's not his birthday. Izuku? Papa looks down and Izuku runs into the study. What is it? Papa, guess what? Izuku knows he should stand still, but he's excited. This is awesome and amazing, and Izuku will have to ask Papa for more words because he doesn't quite know how to express how great this is. Tanya's birthday is next week and he's going to be 4. He makes sure to show the right number of fingers because he can count to 7. And he's having a party and he wants me to come. That's wonderful, Papa smiles. We'll have to pick him out a nice present. Izuku puffs up his chest as he remembers the best part. Guess what, Papa? He says he wants me to come because I'm his best friend. Tenya is super awesome and a great friend, and he will be an amazing hero, and Izuku loves him so much, and Izuku is Tenya's best friend. And Papa obviously understands how exciting this is because he laughs and stands up. Now, that is wonderful news, Papa beams. We will have to find him an incredible present. Yes, Izuku nods, and then, because he's a good boy, he asks, Can I go tell Makia and Kurogiri? You mean they don't know yet? Papa chuckles. Of course not, Izuku frowns. He wanted Papa to know first, and Makia might spoil the surprise. Also, he wants to tell everyone he can because he's Tenya's best friend. Well, go on then, Papa laughs. Izuku grins and spins around and sprints out of the room. Makia! I'm Tenya's best friend! It is a rather novel experience, entering a hero agency through the front door with no dastardly schemes. Hitoshi isn't sure he quite likes the feeling. He keeps expecting All Might to appear out of nowhere and spring a trap, which is... No, it actually is exactly the sort of irresponsible action Hisashi would expect for him. Just in case, he tightens his grip on Izuku's hand. Izuku is so in awe of his surroundings, he's gone completely silent. No exclamations, no muttering as they approach the reception desk. Hisashi regularly has to tug him along. The woman behind the desk looks surprised. To be expected, Hisashi supposes, since Ida 10 has not yet sold its soul and is not open to the public, but quickly plasters on her best customer service smile. Hello and welcome to Ida 10 Hero Agency. How may I help you today? Hisashi picks Izuku up so he can see over the desk. Hello! Izuku beams, obviously happy to have found someone who might not yet know the exciting news. I'm Tenya's best friend! The receptionist huffs a laugh. Izuku, I presume? Yes, Hisashi nods as he lowers his son back down. I'm guessing Tenya told you we'd be coming. Yes, the woman replies. She lifts her phone and dials a number. Hi, I've got Izuku down here in reception. A pause. Yes, that Izuku, she giggles and hangs up. Someone will be down to escort you. She reaches into a drawer and hands them 2 visitor passes. Hisashi pins his to his jacket and Izuku examines his in wonder. Then an idea seems to occur to him. He urgently tucks on Hisashi's sleeve. Papa, he whispers once Hisashi's bent down. Do you think we'll see any heroes? As if on cue, the lift doors chime open. Izuku! Midnight sprints out of them. Present Mike hobbles out after her, followed by a number of assorted sidekicks in varying degrees of shock. Hisashi barely resists his temptation to grab Izuku and run, because all heroes are crazy. Midnight! Izuku cheers. Tenya said I'm his best friend. I know, the woman beams. Everyone is so excited to meet you. You don't say, Hisashi murmurs as he eyes the 10 or so sidekicks milling around awkwardly. Now, Tensei's out on patrol, but Tenya is waiting for you in the equipment room, Midnight laughs. And I might happen to know that someone is going to get to try on costumes. Costumes? Izuku gasps and spins round, wide-eyed to Hisashi. Papa, did you hear? Costumes! I heard, Hisashi chuckles. He picks up the gift bag and motions to Midnight to lead the way. This is a big bag, Mike chuckles, as everyone files back into the lift. Of course it is, Hisashi nods and smiles. After all, Izuku is Tenya's best friend. Izuku is having the best day ever. He's not sure how many psychics he's met, and Tenya is so proud to introduce him to everyone, and Present Mike isn't scary at all, and is rather fun, especially when he teaches him to dance, and then Tensei came back and he let Izuku try on his helmet. Izuku sniffs and wipes at his eyes. He's so happy, he can feel his happy tears coming, and he doesn't want everyone to see him crying, so he goes and sits by the table. Tenya is dancing with Midnight, and Izuku wants to calm down before he goes and joins them. Because Tenya is a wonderful friend, and really smart, but he kind of has trouble understanding happy tears. "Hey, Izuku," he hears Tensei and looks up at him. "Feeling a little tired?" Izuku kind of doesn't want to tell him that he is, because everything is really nice, and he wants to be good, but he also doesn't want to lie. So, hesitantly, he nods. "A little," he sniffs, and then quickly adds, "And I'm very, very happy." "That's good to hear." Tensei grins, and he sits down next to Izuku. Izuku likes his grin. Tensei is really fun, and Izuku kind of wishes he had a big brother like Tensei. Then he glances over at Papa, who's chatting with one of the sidekicks. The smile slips from his face. He takes in a really deep breath and turns back to Izuku. "Izuku, is everything all right at home?" Izuku isn't quite sure why he's asking, but he nods. "Are you sure?" Tensei asks. He leans down a bit and lowers his voice. "'Cause I'm a hero, after all, and if anything is wrong, it's okay to tell me. You won't get into any trouble, I promise." "I dunno." Izuku hesitates, then admits. I do miss Mama." "Yeah?" Tensei sighs and pulls him into a hug. "I know, but your papa isn't mean to you?" "No!" Izuku shakes his head. No one's mean anymore." "Anymore?" Tensei pauses. "Was someone mean before?" Izuku hesitates, but Papa said Kachan was nasty and mean, and he doesn't have to see him anymore. So he nods and leans in to whisper in Tensei's ear. "Kachan was mean. He hurt me." "And did Kachan call you a Deku?" "Yes." Izuku nods. He doesn't like thinking about Kachan, and he wipes at his eyes. "But Papa says I don't have to see him anymore, and Tenya is a good friend. Papa said so, and Kachan wasn't, and I'm going to be a hero." He sniffs again, and Tensei smiles again, while he ruffles at his hair, although it's tinged with sadness. "Izuku, your papa is right, and if anyone ever hurts you again, feel free to tell me." He grins and points at itself. "After all, I am a hero, and just between you and me, you're a pretty good hero too." "Really?" Izuku perks up. "How?" "You know how All Might smiles as he helps people?" Tensei asks. Izuku nods. "Well, he does that to make people feel better," Tensei grins. "Kind of like how when you're sad, Tenya hugs you, and I'm sure your papa misses your mum very much." Izuku nods again, although he doesn't quite know what that has to do with All Might. "But when he sees you're happy, or when you hug him, I think that makes him feel better. So, in a way, you're your papa's hero." Izuku perks up. Tensei is a hero, so he knows what heroes do, and he's also really smart, and maybe he's right, because when Izuku is sad and misses Mama, Papa kisses him and makes him feel better. So, maybe it works even for grown-ups. Izuku likes the idea of being Papa's hero. Chapter 14. Even smart kids do dumb things. Summary. Izuku really wishes his quirk would show up already. Izuku is age 4. "Papa?" "Yes, Izuku?" Hazashi makes sure to smile as he puts down the report he was reading. He knows he needs to get it signed off today, but Izuku never interrupts his work, and with the Bakugo unpleasantness still fresh in his mind, Hazashi is not going to risk turning him away. Izuku hesitates in the doorway, sending Hazashi's fatherly instincts into overdrive. He stands up and approaches his son, his heart breaking when he hears a suspicious sniffle. "Oh, Izuku," he sighs as he kneels over and pulls the boy into a tight hug. "What's wrong?" Izuku wipes his eyes when they separate, and Hazashi produces a tissue and commands him to blow. Izuku obeys, but isn't any more forthcoming. Hazashi wants to wait patiently, but when Izuku just sniffles again, he picks up his son and moves them to his office chair. Izuku almost immediately curls up, his small fingers grasping at his father's shirt. Hisashi allows himself to savour the feeling as he starts humming one of Izuku's favourite lullabies. At least he still has Izuku. "Papa," Izuku finally whispers, "what if I'm quirkless?" He sounds so small, so broken, that Hisashi has to take a deep breath and try to stay calm, because he hates, oh how he hates the Bakugo brat like nothing before. "Then you're quirkless," he finally answers, in as nonchalant a manner as he can manage. "But we don't know that yet. Some people don't get their quirk until they're older. It happens." "Where did you hear that word, anyway?" Izuku's sniffles are enough of an answer, and Hisashi presses a quick kiss to those adorable green curls. They sit in relative silence for a while, Hisashi occasionally carding his fingers through Izuku's hair. "Kachan said I was quirkless," Izuku finally whispers. "And Kachan is so smart?" Hisashi rolls his eyes. "Izuku, I don't care about your quirk. Never have, never will. Do you know why?" "Why?" "Because I love you. Because you're so smart and kind and polite, and every day I am so, so proud of you." Hisashi presses his lips to Izuku's head. "You don't need a quirk. Nobody needs a quirk. If anyone tells you otherwise, then they're fools, and you need to inform me immediately." Izuku nods hesitantly, and Hisashi resists the urge to sigh. "Kachan was very mean, and a very bad friend," he explains instead. "Friends don't say nasty things to friends or make them cry, so if anyone ever does anything like that, tell a grown-up, understand?" Izuku nods again. "Now, does Tenya care whether you have a quirk?" "No." "That's because Tenya is a good friend. Tenya cares that you're a very nice boy, and that you want to help people, and that you like playing with him." Izuku nods, but it's slow and hesitant, and Hisashi knows that it's not the last he's heard of quirklessness. But Izuku is still young, and is probably not up to a lesson about prejudice, and is definitely not capable of understanding why there is no need to worry that he will be quirkless. So Hisashi decides that they can come back to this another day, and they both certainly deserve a pick-me-up. Now, I think we need a therapeutic helping of ice cream. Sound good? Izuku perks up and nods. How about we curl up on the couch and have a TV marathon? Even as faint as it is, Izuku's smile means everything. Izuku wishes his quirk would show up already. He knows Papa said it would come when it's ready, but Izuku is the only child at daycare who doesn't have a quirk yet, and although Tenya doesn't seem to mind being friends with someone without a quirk, he's had Engine since he was a baby, so he can't really imagine not having a quirk. Not that Izuku wouldn't want to be friends with Tenya if he didn't have Engine, but... And quirks are so amazing, and Izuku wants to know what his quirk will be. His parents aren't like Mr. and Mrs. Ida, who both have quirks that make them really fast, so of course Tenya and Tensei have quirks that make them really fast. They have really different quirks, so Izuku can't really guess what his quirk will be. He wonders whether he'll take after Mama, or maybe his quirk will be like Papa's. Izuku pauses his musings as a thought occurs to him. What exactly is Papa's quirk? He knows about Mama's. He can even sort of remember it in use, back before she got really sick and had to go away. But no matter what, he can't recall Papa ever explaining his own quirk. It was probably some sort of healing, Izuku decides, because he can always kiss Izuku's owies better, but he didn't even kiss Eraserhead, and Eraserhead got better after Papa touched him. Izuku ponders the mystery as he eats dinner, but by the time Kurogiri stands to clear the table, Izuku has reached a decision. He just has to figure out Papa's quirk. The super important, very secret mission begins early the next day. Izuku needs to figure out the ins and outs. He knows Papa's quirk works on scraped knees and burns, but he isn't sure if it works on broken bones and tummy aches. Izuku frowns as he considers his plan and almost backs out. But he's not a coward, unlike what Kachan says, and he needs to find out about Papa's quirk, and maybe, just maybe, his own quirk will activate. Izuku takes a deep breath and jumps off the dining room table. The pain is so bad he almost faints. All thoughts of quirks forgotten, he starts to sob. He wants his Papa, and his leg hurts, and he doesn't care if he's a crybaby. "Little Lord!" Makia cries as he comes thundering into the room. Izuku starts crying louder. He's hurt and scared, and he wants Papa. Gigantomachia takes in the sight of a hysterical toddler and makes probably the smartest decision in his life. He spins around, smacks his head on the doorframe, and thunders out, bellowing at the top of his lungs, "Lord! Lord! Little Lord is dying!" Papa appears in a matter of seconds, a panicked expression on his face, dressed only in black boxers, and if Izuku wasn't quite so scared, he would have wondered about the flicker of flame coming at the back of his mouth. But Izuku is hurt and frightened, so he reaches out for Papa, who immediately kneels and pulls Izuku close. "Izuku, what's wrong?" Papa asks. "Leg," Izuku chokes out between sobs. "Hurts." "Oh, Izuku," Papa sighs, and for a minute they simply sit there. Izuku is still hurt and still sad, but at least Papa doesn't seem to mind that Izuku is a crybaby. So he snuggles up a little bit closer, because just being with Papa makes the pain hurt less. His leg itches. "What's wrong?" Papa asks as Izuku shifts. "Itchy," Izuku whines in response, and Papa laughs, obviously relieved. "That's just a healing quirk," he explains, and Izuku realises that, sure enough, as the itching increases, the pain vanishes. Izuku's interest is piqued, and he remembers why he went through with this silly, stupid plan. But the itching is already fading, and Izuku panics because it's too soon, and he doesn't know how it works, and he doesn't want to have to do this again. If only he could borrow it for only a few seconds. And something clicks. The quirk isn't fading anymore. If anything, it feels stronger than before. A strange, warm, but not quite thrumming under his skin. Izuku pokes at it and marvels, so enraptured that he doesn't notice the puzzled, almost comical expression on Papa's face. "Izuku," Papa finally speaks, and Izuku freezes, because he sounds so uncertain, so unsure. It's scary. "What did you just do?" Izuku stops pondering over the quirk, but it's still there, even though there's nothing left to heal, and Izuku suddenly understands. He can feel it so well because it's in him. Somehow, without meaning to, he took it, like a thief. Izuku bursts into tears. Papa doesn't have a quirk anymore, and it's all Izuku's fault. Izuku didn't mean to, but now Papa will be angry, and he'll think Izuku was naughty. And what will Tenya think? Will he think Izuku's a mean thief too? Will he think Izuku wants to take Engine? Will Tensei arrest him and send him to prison? Izuku doesn't want someone else's quirk. He didn't mean to, Why isn't Papa angry? Izuku realises Papa isn't shouting, and he looks up at Papa, who is smiling. Izuku wipes at his eyes, puzzled. Does Papa not mind not having a quirk anymore? Does he still love Izuku, even though Izuku is a naughty thief? Papa takes the opportunity to grab and lift him, spinning them around, laughing. It's so unexpected that Izuku joins in, because Papa obviously doesn't mind not having a quirk anymore, even though Izuku can't understand why. Izuku would be sad if he had a quirk and then he lost it. "My little boy's got a quirk!" Papa cheered, and then he pauses to look down at Izuku, suddenly serious. Izuku almost panics, but then Papa sighs. "But you need to promise me you'll stop growing up so fast. Next thing I know, you'll be off to work, and I'll be all alone, and you'll never call me." "Papa!" Izuku whines, because Papa is being silly. Papa just laughs and presses a big kiss to Izuku's cheek, and it's so nice, so pleasant, but he still needs to make sure. "You're not mad?" "Course not," Papa smiles. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't have to, because Izuku feels it, but also at the same time he doesn't. That quirk he took, Papa's quirk, is just suddenly gone, and Papa winks. Izuku covers his mouth to muffle his laughter, because Papa can do it too, and that must mean it's not naughty, and Papa's obviously not mad, and if Papa can do it, he must still love Izuku, even though Izuku stole his quirk. Maybe Papa accidentally stole someone's quirk when he was little too. "Kurogiri," Papa yells as he carries Izuku into the dining room. "We need a cake, we're celebrating." In the ensuing excitement, Izuku forgets all about the events leading up to his quirk manifesting. In fact, he only remembers once Papa is tucking him into bed. "By the way, Izuku, how did you hurt your leg?"